Hello and welcome. We're here for Voorhees Tiger Vision.
Oh, you already messed up.
Edward Waters. Oh my goodness. Coach, I knew at some point I was going to do it.
Okay.
At some point, I knew that out of years of old bad habits, I was going to turn the ball over.
Sub and
I
come
was
sit
going
next
to
to us.
turn the ball over. We
Okay.
are at the newly minted, not that new. I'm still new. I'm getting used to it.
Yes.
Newly minted Edward Waters Tiger Vision. We are Duval. I'm sorry, Duval. I apologize. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Um, I am not in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm not in the gym, obviously, because I'm saying the wrong thing. But we have special guests joining us today. Um, we are not just celebrating the men's basketball program, but we'll get an opportunity to talk women's basketball. Uh, Coach, I'll toss it over to you, Coach Huff, and let you introduce our special guest for the evening.
I think when you talk about Edward Waters and who is one of the representatives in athletics uh, that has done things the way they need to be done, and her longevity has said such, and what she's done with her program. On our second show ever of the Edward Waters Coaches Podcast, Tiger Vision, there was no one other than Coach Wilson who I wanted to bring on to talk about her program. She's been such a help to me since I've gotten down to Jacksonville. So I wanted to make sure we showed her some love tonight on this second episode of our inaugural season here in Jacksonville. So, Coach Wilson, thank you for coming on. As she shows her beautiful locker room with those championships in the background, you know.
Oh, Thank you, Coach Huff. Thank you, Mandry. I really appreciate the honor. It's a privilege to be on your show. Just very humbled right now with everything going on. I'm just in a humble space right now, and just very grateful and appreciative of everything. My years here have been so wonderful for me. So, if you want me to elaborate on that part, I really can. It's nothing but family here for me. So, my longevity comes with a lot. I matured a lot as a coach and as a young woman. So, a lot of ground has been set here. So, where do you want me to start? Do you want me to just talk about the program?
We definitely want to hear about the longevity. I think it's apropos to mention um, um, the tragic incident down in Jacksonville here recently. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, Coach Wilson, yours as well, Coach Huff, on exactly everything that took place on campus down in or not on your campus, but close to campus down in Jacksonville, and how that has impacted the community and you guys so far.
Coach, I'll let you speak first.
Okay, thanks. Again, I think I shared a little bit about it already. Being humble in this space right now, the whole city of Jacksonville has been shook, including myself. I was getting back on campus when all of the commotion was happening, and we're so grateful and thankful for the lieutenant who was in place at time, but more importantly, the students who were in place at time to see unusual behavior. And when that happened, the mantra is, if you see something, say something. They did. Everybody acted accordingly, and we kind of spared some lives on this campus, in my opinion. Again, I was coming back on campus, and they said, "Coach, campus is on lockdown." So I immediately go into the gym and I locked myself in the locker room for 4.5 hours. So imagine that. I don't know what's going on other than we're on lockdown. So to just kind of set the pace for what's been happening the last few days, my players were shook. I was shook. We are all on high alert, and just the atmosphere all on the Jacksonville campus. I mean, our campus, you can kind of feel it's an eerie feeling like, okay, we on high alert. Anybody who comes on campus, we all got eyes on them. So that's just where I am and how I feel. We're moving on through prayer, and just being vigilant.
And I think Coach Wilson said some great words, and I think it brought our community and campus together as you begin a new year. Also, you hate to have such an incident that does that, but I think it brought our students together to understand what it means to go to a place like Edward Waters and why, unfortunately, some people don't like it. And I also think, it's another way for our community to understand we're all in this together. Like Coach Wilson said, it shook the whole entire community. It's a tough place when you have to respond to calls and text messages from parents to let them know that their kid is safe, because they send them to us, to Coach Wilson and myself, to keep them safe, not just to play basketball, but to keep them safe as they grow into women and men. And those are tough conversations to have, to text back. Even though you're saying they're good, it's just a tough conversation to have. And I think as the time goes on, we'll continue to get better and learn how to deal with it. But we're just prayerful for our community. We send condolences and prayers to those victims of this senseless crime, this senseless act. And just like Coach said, we're thankful. We're humbled that we're able to come on this podcast tonight to even talk to you, because that wasn't guaranteed at about 12:45, 1 o'clock on Saturday. It just wasn't. So,
Coach, I got to ask each of you, how are you currently addressing your teams, and like what types of things or what types of conversations are currently being had in those prospective men's and women's locker rooms right now?
I'll go first. Just daily conversations. You want to do a wellness check. If we have an activity, hey, how's everyone doing? I have an open door policy. We also have counselors that are available to you online. So you just want to have a open conversation. And, if they don't feel comfortable talking in front of the group, I say, come to my office and we'll do what we have to do as far as get you the help you need. So those are the daily conversations I have in my life.
And I just piggyback on that. And that's one of the big things that Mondre, I'm big on. It's about relationships and digging more into a young man and just how many points he can score, how many minutes he can give me on the basketball court, and just the time since Saturday, just to make sure these guys are all right, to make sure if they need anything. And we do that anyway, but in a time like this, you kind of double up on them, if that makes sense. Like, are you sure you're okay?
Right.
If you need something, let us know. Don't hesitate to ask. And, even, through this week, as now it's Thursday, and yes, we had some differences even in this week, but even as our athletes move about the gym and the training room and to wherever, practices or workouts they're going to, there's a sense of togetherness of all programs on our campus. And I think we had it before. And I know Coach can probably speak to it even more because he's been here. But I think it was something that was even more ready, more evident this week. Once you saw somebody walk in that door, or saw them going, hey, how you doing?
Right.
You all right?
Right.
Didn't matter if they were basketball, baseball, softball, track and field, cross country, football. It just didn't matter. So just making sure we're doing those wellness checks with our young women and our young men.
Coach, I was able to read some very spirited words from President Faison about the event and discussions about moving forward. You guys, as leaders of your program and the president of the school, we always talk about it, that support from leadership. But like, what was that like? Seeing your leader kind of jump into action as this took place.
I guess I'll go again. President Faison has always been the leader since he stepped on this campus. He's been a leader. He's amazing, honestly. He supports athletics wholeheartedly. But not only that, each student on this campus means something to him and First Lady. He and First Lady, I'm sorry. And they just bring a sense of togetherness, family. Everyone cares for each other, especially our leader. He makes sure everyone's okay. So I just think he has the leadership that you can see we're on the rise in a lot of things, Coach Huff.
And I would piggyback on that. I mean,
Yeah.
just Monday, you're just coming off what happened. And he's coming out of a press conference that we had on our campus on Monday. But yeah, he's coming over to see students or, coaches. Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Like, that's what leaders do. And he embodies that every time. And I think what the world saw this weekend is what, even in my brief time and even while I'm here, is what he's all about and what First Lady is all about and what our institution is about.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has said this to you. I'm sure they have, but I'll say that I feel like that Edward Waters is very fortunate to have you two in the house as well to help lead those young men. Huff, I've been around you for a long time, so I definitely know the type of relationships that you have with your players and other coaches and stuff like that. So very lucky, man. Everybody doesn't have great leadership on campus, and it seems like Edward Waters kind of has that in spades. So
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so, Dre, I don't know if you had another question. If you do, go ahead. But if not, man, I would just like us to just take a brief moment of silence, man, for those victims and just for our city, and for the world, man. It's a lot of crazy things going on right now, and just a brief moment of silence, if we could, just to honor the man above and pay our condolences to the victims of the senseless act.
I think that's appropriate, man. I'll take us off.
Appreciate it, Dre.
No worries. Best wishes to everybody out there, man. Prayers are with you for sure. Everybody impacted. So, Coach, I know, everybody thinks when it comes down to coaching that they want to talk about X's and O's and they want to talk about recruiting, but when real life things like this happen, and other things around campus or with kids, we're dealing with children, so it's always something, right? This is the time where real, leaders really step up. Coach, I want to shift from talking about, some of the most difficult moments to maybe some of the best moments that you've had on campus. You've been around quite a while. You've seen a lot of success. What are some of your favorite moments on campus at Edward Waters?
To be honest with you, Dre, going to chapel every Wednesday. I'm a Christian woman. I believe in God, and all of my players do. So we go to church for balance. I use it as balance for me to continue to lead and guide them weekly. And in our annual meetings before we get started with the academic year, I said, "Does anyone have a problem going to chapel?" Because I wouldn't have a problem if they did, but I wanted to know up front. Do I have a group of young ladies who's willing to follow me to chapel every Wednesday? Everyone raised their hand. They're ready to go. So when I got that became something I did annually. I've been here 12 seasons. This is my 13th year. We've already attended our first chapel together. Everybody enjoyed it. We had every sport in the program in the gym because our head football coach, he spoke. And, that felt great. We packed out our chapel. We packed it out, and you can feel the spirit of the Lord in the room. I'm speaking because I'm highly, I feel some things right now. So with that being said, that's one of my favorite moments on campus. Obviously, game day. I prepare the same way. I get everybody amped up in the locker room. We go out there and we have a good time because we're already prepared with practice. Game day is fun day, Practice hard, game easy. So two of the most important moments on campus is game day and chapel.
Coach, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Right.
So, Coach, we can talk about rosters a little bit. I think you bringing back a lot. Do you want to shout out anybody that's coming back, or that's making you feel good to have them back? That you happy that they're coming back?
Oh man, I got 12 coming back. 12. I can't just single one person out. I'm enjoying the whole group coming back. I honestly have a good group of humble young ladies. They're very coachable. Honestly, I'm not coaching no attitude. I'm coaching girls, young ladies who are willing to buy in. And that's the most, I think every coach wants that. And I can say that I'm very humble to have that. You know, the season hadn't started yet, but I already have started workouts already. Everybody bought in. And when you get them to buy in early, you got to trust the process. And I think everybody trusts the process. I have 12 players coming back. 11 of them are seniors. Imagine that. All the veteranship, the leadership, uh, the hunger to get further than we did last season. It's a lot of and a lot of excitement in the air. It's all I could say. 12 young ladies coming back. 5 new players that's on the team. So this is the first year I've ever had a roster of 17. I like smaller roster, less attitude to deal with. But when I say you don't have the attitude, and I know it's early, but I know the group I have. I think Coach Huff made it a point earlier when he said you get to know your players a lot better than just the X's and O's. I know each and every one of my young ladies, the new and the old. But obviously, the 12 returners are the majority of the team. Their mode would set the mode for the new people. They got to jump on board. Am I right? So, with that being said, we got a good group. I have a new assistant coach who's already on board with me. He was with me in the past, and he's just been phenomenal. Coming in with new ideas and new projects for us. Everything is just rolling. And we all trust in the process. They trust me as the leader, which makes me feel even better. I get paid to do what I love. So, how many people love the job? I get paid to come to work and do what I love.
That's
Yeah,
awesome, Coach. That's
right.
awesome. Um, I will give you the exact same respect that I give Coach Huff, and I won't put championship expectations on you too early. I have a tendency to start screaming about rings and stuff really early in the season, but
Right.
I'm gonna try to contain myself. But when you
Yeah.
say 12 seniors, when you say 12 seniors, it kind of reminds me of like a Villanova type deal. That senior leadership normally wins, Coach.
Oh man,
It
we're
normally
hoping.
wins.
We got to trust the process. That's one of my highlights. 12 veterans. 11 out of the 12 are seniors. I said 11 because Tatum Hayes, she's a senior in the classroom, however, a junior on the court. So I have her for an additional year. So she's really that senior too, and she's was my leading scorer before she went out last season, getting hurt. So 12 seniors, yeah, a lot of optimism. Like we excited, we are hungry. We're going after that SIAC championship. So I'm excited. I can't say much more than that.
Tell me a little bit about your philosophy, Coach. What does it really take to be a Lady Tiger? What type of basketball player or what type of person are you looking for out there?
Honestly, you look for the speed, the quickness, the coachable. You got to be coachable because when I evaluate, I look at their mannerism and body body posture during the game or when they're sitting on the bench, the bench decorum. Can that person play for me? But I'm very up tempo. That's why I say speed and quickness. Even my post players have to be speed and quick because I run the 12 diamond all the time. I'm very up tempo offensively and defensively. But when we score, I love the diamond press. I got to have that personnel who can execute the press. A long four, quick and athletic. 1, 2, and 3 got to be very agile and quick. My middle person, which is 3, they have to anticipate well so they can jump the ball, get the steal, we jump right back in it. I score, we jump right back in it like a tiger. And I growl all the time, which I get the attention of my girls. I say, let's go. So that amps them up, and it amps me up too, because everybody's in tune. And I use the terms, you either plugged in or you plugged out. And that usually get their attention right away, and they know getting on the floor means defense. They know that. So just to answer your question, what's my philosophy? We're up tempo offensively and defensively. We run and gun. Oh, of course, we got some half court sets, but I'd rather get them off balance. That's why that speed and quickness is very important in the fast break.
Very well said, Coach. Very
And
well said. I know a lot of people watching at home want to play in an up tempo offense and run and gun. That sounds right up a lot of folks' alley. If you're a real player, that should be how you want to play.
Until they got a condition, right?
right, that part. That part. That's the buy-in right there. That's the seller. That's the
but
seller.
but I think too, Mondre, I can't let Coach get off the show. I know she's talking about her team, but she's got to talk about herself just a little bit. You know, she there's only one. Number one, there's only one jersey retired in our gym, and she had the honor of coaching that young lady who now is overseas playing, who just signed the contract. So that's one thing. But then also, Coach, you can talk about, you know, Miss Glover, but who I got a chance to see a lot this summer when she was in the gym working out before she signed her pro contract. But also your longevity at Edward Waters, but where you were before then and how it positions you to be ready for this job.
Okay. Funny story, but true story, short story, if you can follow me.
All right.
With that being said, this job at Edward Waters was offered to me at the age of 25. I turned it down. I was at Allen University at the time. I had just tapped into basketball, being an assistant coach. I was working for the state South Carolina Employment Security Commission, and I played basketball every afternoon after work. I'm still young, fresh out of college, just wanted to be a part because I tried out for the Washington Mystics, made it to the second round of the tryouts, didn't make it. So I said, how can I stay a part of basketball and still be excited? So I started going out to the gym in Columbia, South Carolina, ran into Marvin Orange. Marvin Orange played for Alabama. He's now the head men's basketball at that time for Allen University. He saw me playing with the guys because that's all I played with. And he saw how swift and smooth I was. Forgive me, but I was good back then. So he said, Coach, he said, Charmaine, where did you play? I said, I played at South Carolina State. I said, what did you do? And he told me he was the head coach at Allen. He said, are you interested in coaching? I'm young. I'm just saying yes, just to say yes. I just wanted to be a part. He said, if you're interested, come to Allen University tomorrow evening around this time. I went to that job at Allen. I was automatically put on staff with the head coach there. He needed an assistant coach. I was available. He said, are you interested? From that point on, at the age of 23, I was a coach on the college level. So I say all of that to say I did well as the entry. Once that coach got terminated, I was put in the head coach's position. I stayed there 1 year. I won their first ever tournament team win in the EIAC, men or women. So with that, of course, I'm young. I sparked the interest of Edward Waters' AD at the time, James Day. He brought me down here, offered me the job. I'm 25 at this rate. And I took the job, and then I was kind of scared because my father was in my head. Why would you leave a state job, which is stable, to go to something unstable, which is coaching? And when you're young, your parents are always your leaders, right? You follow their every move. So I had to call James Day and tell him I'm not going to accept the job. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm not ready at this time. Here we are, 13 years later. So I said I had the opportunity to go to Bethune-Cookman in between. Francis Simmons gave me my first Division I opportunity. And after I stayed there 7 years, I had two leaders, Francis Simmons and Vanessa Blair. Stanley Cromartie reached out to me and said they needed a head women's basketball coach at Edward Waters. At that time, remember I said I wasn't sure back then, 23, 24. Without hesitation or reservation, I took this job because I had some unfinished business here. So that's why I said it was short, long, but I wanted to get you in the mindset of where I was during my journey of basketball. And honestly, I'm home. Jacksonville is my home. Edward Waters is my family. So that's why I'm so embedded and plugged into this program, into this athletic department, and working with new people, old people. It doesn't matter. You're people of Edward Waters University. So that's where I come from.
And then just talk a little bit about the young lady whose number 3 is retired.
Man, the Kwanzaa Q Glover. I call it Q because that was a nickname, but Q came from a winning foundation. And during that time, 2017, again, I'm fast. We did the up-tempo 12 defense. Q fit the perfect part of being the 3 in the 12. She anticipated well, defended well. I mean, tremendous work during her time here. 67 double doubles. I can't make that up. Undersized post player. She was a tweener guard post, but she excelled a lot in the post because she was undersized and she used her speed and quickness to score, to rebound, to make plays. She even brought the ball up the court a few times. She was special. We had a rocky relationship in the beginning. She was a freshman, I was the head coach, and she didn't think the seniors should be able to talk to her any kind of way. We had a happy median, and we hadn't had a problem since. Matter of fact, we grew together. She allowed me to coach players differently because you know what triggers a player. You know what trigger Coach Huff.
Mm-hmm.
Every player you may have to coach them differently, but they all getting the same sound,
Mm-hmm.
right? So LaQuanda Glover changed my coaching style for the better. I was a little bit more open, and sometimes you got to listen to your players. And she was one of those players who really flourished. When we won the regular season GCAC conference, both she and I got national. She got National Player of the Year, and I got National Coach of the Year in the BSN. That was a hell of an honor, for me to share it with her. And during her 5-year span here, it's an honor and a privilege to say I coached LaQuanja Glover, one of my good friends now, because now she's separated. We talk all the time and we support each other. Like Coach Huff said, she's now playing overseas. She's playing for a Mexican team. Guess what? Double double already. I call it consistent behavior. If you can do it in high school, you can do it in college. Now you're doing it at the pros. People can't say it's a fluke. It's consistent behavior. She's consistently done well. Double double in high school, double double in college. Now double double in the pros. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself.
So Dre, you can see why I wanted this wonderful coach to come on.
I appreciate it, Huff. You make things so easy for me. You've been a blessing to this program. I'm listening to you everything. I'm like a sponge. I take everything in, especially from these head coaches, Coach Morgan, yourself, and a few others on this campus. But me and you, I think we're going to do just fine together.
Hey, we were in there talking about that press the other day now.
Yes, sir. Making some changes.
Oh, yeah.
Changing the personnel. I even loved that. That was great. That was good, Chuck.
Oh man, not y'all in there exchanging notes, man. I know how. Did he pull out the notebook?
We had out the board. We had the whiteboard up. We were ready, set, go with it.
If you see the notebook come out, I always try to peek over and look and take a look and see what's in it.
Hey, that notebook is pretty good. It's I go back to it a lot. It has a lot of notes in there.
Some good stuff in there, man.
Right. Yeah.
But Coach, I definitely appreciate you joining us.
Oh man.
When you talk about having a player that's had a number retired and your experience being able to play at a high level as well. Coach, are you still out on the court at all? It seems like you might be out there every now and then, Coach.
I'm out there every now and again, but I run more so than anything. I stay conditioned because I want to be able to do some demos on the court. So I got to stay in some type of playing shape. But another little short, I played with the girls maybe my second year here. I completely tore up my knee, the MCL, ACL, and meniscus. So I learned my lesson. My mind is not moving as fast as my body anymore. So I stick on the sideline and do demos. So no, I'm not playing anymore.
If you catch Coach Huff out on the court, pull out your cell phone and film it for me and send it to me, because occasionally he'll
Yeah.
still go out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Occasionally.
I will.
The jump shot still work, right, Huff?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
that part worked. Right.
No, I
Man.
love it. I love the sense of family and camaraderie
Hmm.
that you guys have in the athletic department from what I've seen so far. I mean, it just seems like you guys just embrace each other across all sports. Like, where does that come from? Where does that type of energy come from?
I'll start on this one
Yeah.
because,
Okay.
and I say I wanted to start because that's what drew me to Edward Waters was
Hmm.
that family atmosphere, and I think it doesn't just start from the top and our leader, Dr. Faison, but it starts from Dr. Rich, our
Right.
athletic director. Like,
Absolutely.
there's not a time she's not gonna have your back. There's
Right.
not a time she's not gonna support you in anything. And when you get that support from both those two, then it just leads to that atmosphere where you want to support the other people that are on this campus. Whether it's, we've got our first home football game, right, on Saturday. Shout out to the football team. It's a
Right.
big game, 6 o'clock Saturday. Tune in if you can. If you're in Jacksonville, be there. Coach Morgan got those guys ready, him and his staff. But like, we all have to help. Like, we're a smaller institution, but do you think men's basketball or women's basketball or baseball or softball, like, that we don't want to help? Oh, we're all in this thing together. Like, what do we got to do to make sure you have a successful season, to make sure that game is successful? Because in turn, it's going to come around in softball season or baseball season or basketball season. And I think that's what makes programs successful. We cheer on softball, HBCU champions. We cheer on baseball, who not this year, but year past was HBCU champions. We cheer on men's volleyball, SIAC champions, and
Yes.
the women's volleyball being, the East Division champions. Those things help us lead to why we want to have championship DNA in this athletic program. And it starts with family. And I
Right.
think if those athletes can see we as coaches, this athletic program have it, and have it from each other, then why wouldn't they have it for themselves and for the other programs on campus?
I totally agree. Coach Huff said enough for the both of us. It's just family atmosphere. Everybody's engaged. Everybody supports. Everybody love on each other. Good, bad, or indifferent, we support. So we're there.
Coach, Coach Wilson, I gotta ask: have you given Huff any advice on some of the best places to eat close to campus?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of asking for myself too. Selfishly, I'm asking for myself.
Okay. Well, the Potter's House is always the good spot to go to. They have good food.
Soul
We've
food,
talked.
baby. Soul food.
Yeah, soul food. So yeah, we talk about spots to eat, places that are nice to go see, and things of that nature. Coach and I have great conversations. So
Yeah.
he's gonna get to know Jacksonville very well through me.
He's pointing me to the right directions, right? Hasn't missed a beat at any time.
Yeah, I
Hey,
appreciate
listen,
it.
it sounds like my restaurant itinerary will be made out very well when I make my next trip to Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
Potter's House. Put the
Potter's House.
Potter's House on your list.
Ask Coach Britt. He'll vouch for it too.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I like it.
right.
Um, but yeah, Coach, we'll be cheering for the Lady Tigers this year.
Okay.
When I hear, like I said, that senior leadership, when I hear that,
Hmm.
my imagination just starts running wild at what your team could be this season. And when you talk about that running gun style, that pressure defense, it reminds me of my hometown beloved University. And when we did some of our best damage, we were up tempo as well, Coach. You'll get to know me a little bit. I'm gonna love you guys like you're one of my own. But my hometown team used to press a little bit as well. Huff will tell you about that later. But I can't wait to be able to come and check you out. and see you guys get up and down that floor, and hopefully get some wins. I think we might have lost Coach a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That connection for a second.
No worries, Coach. I was just saying that I can't wait to get down there and be able to watch you guys play and be able to witness that pressure defense for myself. I get excited, man. I get animated. You start getting some steals and some deflections, I'm gonna get real turned up.
Right. Man, listen, I'm excited, very optimistic for. We got some big plans. We just wanted to manifest on the court. So I appreciate the support. I really appreciate you guys just allowing me to speak about our program on your podcast. So this is great.
I appreciate you, Coach. I mean, from day one, you've been a support to me, and whatever question. Sometimes I may say, I don't know if Coach want to tell me this answer right now, but it's been a blessing to have to work with you. Saw you from afar, but now to work beside you has really been a blessing. So I definitely appreciate you and want you to know that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep.
Absolutely, Coach. Thanks for your time.
All right. I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
See you later, Coach.
We'll talk to you. Bye.
Great people hire great people. I'm convinced.
Hey, she's a wealth of knowledge, not just of her program, but of Edward Waters for her time there. You know, any place you go, you got to know how to maneuver. You know, hey, Coach, you might not want to do it like this. Do it like this. But she's been godsend for me, and I appreciate her wholeheartedly. And definitely, you know, she has had a lot of success, and I think, you know, that success has to be, you know, celebrated. And I wanted to make sure we celebrated here on our show.
Absolutely. I couldn't think about anything better. I mean, we've had back-to-back weeks of two fantastic guests, man. If you want to get to know Edward Waters athletics, like, this has been the place to be for a couple of episodes in a row.
And I think that's what it's about. We talk about that family, and we just, you know, when all this manifested itself, we wanted to make sure people understood that, you know, it's not just Edward Waters men's basketball, but it's the Edward Waters University Athletic Program, and we want to be great all around. So
I want to make sure to let everybody know, for those that's watching, we are live right now on Twitter. We're also live on YouTube. You're able to watch us on YouTube as well. And if you miss it and you want to listen to just audio only, you're able to catch up with us on SoundCloud also. So if you're going for a run and you don't have time to watch the visual, these episodes are uploaded to SoundCloud. Just search Love of the Game podcast, and it should pop right up for you, so you can catch up with everything Edward Waters basketball here on the show. So, Coach, we talked about the first football game, man. Are you guys packing it out? You guys going to be packing it out? We got a home game coming up.
Man, home game this Saturday, 6 p.m. Versus Flomo, as they say, Florida Memorial, the Big Cat Classic. If you go on Twitter, you'll see our president said, "What is a lion to a tiger?" You know. So it's a big game, you know. And what makes football a little bit different is every game's a big game, right? So
Sure.
We're just excited, man, to start the season off at home and get ready to see how Coach Morgan has got those guys ready. I know he's excited. You got to follow Edward Waters Athletics, man. That uniform drop they had was pretty dope.
Ooh, oh my goodness! I should have loaded it up in here. The images, those helmets, man. Those helmets.
Yeah.
Do you have any insider information about what color is being worn this weekend? Because you had a lot.
I won't drop that information. That's when they walk out that tunnel. Then you'll see it.
Man, I have my hopes for what color they come out in. I'll be able to try and catch it. But Coach, are you guys going to watch the game as a team or as a coaching staff, or how you guys planning on watching?
All the above, man. Our guys are locked and loaded, ready to go, ready to watch. We do some stuff with athletics to help prepare. Make sure things are set in motion and behind the scenes stuff. So our team does some work with that, and then we're in the stand supporting, man, because we know what happens when it comes December, January. Those guys are gonna be supporting us, man. So we're locked and loaded. It's ready. It's time to go.
Go Tom. I love that, man. I love that. How on how you are from practice and
Man, I missed that question. Say it one more time, Dre.
I said I'm going to set a counter up here to count down to the first day of official practice for men's basketball. How far away are we, Coach?
We're about a little over a month from official practice. But getting those guys in workouts, the weight room conditioning has been great, man. Finally getting to see the guys that you put together has been really good for myself and my staff. We had a basketball Jones we had to fix for a while. Like, man, you talk about all these guys, what they can do, what they can't do. When you got them on campus, middle of August, and now here we are at the end of August, finally being ready to go, man. So it's an exciting time, man. I think those guys have enjoyed it too. Even though they may go home a little hurt, they've enjoyed it too. And nothing can be said for our athletic training staff, our strength and conditioning coach. Like, he gets after him. It's a sight to see, and not just for our guys, just for everybody. So it's been really good, man. So when October for us, about October 10th comes around, official practice, at this level you have an hours limit right now. So it's not official. You get more hours limit once that time comes. So you're just ready. You're raring to go. You're trying to, make sure you're setting the standard. The standard is the standard. And we told our guys that, like, it's attention to detail. The little details matter right now. Because in all honesty, from my staff to those players, when we finally were able to get on the court, nobody knew what to expect, because it was brand new to everybody. We hadn't been together as a staff on the floor yet. They haven't been together as a team yet on the floor. So, but it's been great, man. Truly excited about this group. They want to get better. And I think anytime a group wants to get better, you can succeed. So
100%. I can't wait to see you guys out there on the floor. Hopefully I'll get a chance to come down and check out practice as well. There's a few guys I want to lay my eyes on, that's for sure. And I don't know if it's happened to you there at Edward Waters yet, Huff, but I'm sure it's going to, because it's happened everywhere that you've gone. When it comes to the quality and the character of the young men that you bring in on campus, it normally ends up shocking people about that high level of quality and character and academic prowess that you bring in on campus. Have you started to hear any whispers of that yet?
We had it before they arrived on campus, and I can't remember if was it an athletic meeting or was it when we had somebody on campus, but basically in a meeting across campus, we know the non-athletic side of campus, they were talking about the quality of the young men. And that was before they had really just met them all the way. But what their transcript looks like, how they presented themselves when they did come. And it's something we look for, man. There's a standard. There's a way we want to represent ourselves at all times. And that's how we recruit. And that's how we're going to always recruit. So I think there has been, something to be said about that already. But I think that also translates on the court. Like, sure. Discipline on and off the court. Got to have it. One of our players said that today, and we didn't tell him to say that. He broke us down at the end of our workouts today and said that. So
that's awesome, man. I love it, because in today's age of basketball, academics doesn't get brought up very much anymore. Character, integrity, those things don't get brought up much anymore, but it's vital when you talk about the type of people that you bring onto a college campus. As a parent, when I send my kid to um, college. I wouldn't want them, going on campus with a bunch of guys that, are acting like tyrants and stuff, running around tearing up campus. So, man, the quality of the young men that you bring into campus. Um, I know the wins are going to be there. The wins follow you wherever you go. Um, but a lot of people are winning in a lot of different ways. And I think it's real honorable the type of people that you're bringing on campus to go along with the winning.
Now you take that and through a tragic incident on Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Where coach was able to get on campus right before everything got locked down. I wasn't able to get in the gym, right? But all
Mm.
my players were there because we were doing concussion testing, right?
Mhm.
So goals were up, right? Because
Right.
we weren't expecting anything that, volleyball may have had practice, was going to have practice later on. And I remember the trainer texted me throughout the lockdown, and she goes, "Coach, your team is in here bonding." She said, "I don't know what kind of game they playing, but they playing some kind of imaginary game on the court." So that was, it's little things, man. When
Yeah,
you got to take those little things, and understand why they can now become big things. And I think we've got a group that can be special, can be special.
awesome, awesome, Coach. I just want to check in on my other guys, man. Your group of assistants, Brent, Reedy, your guys. How's everybody doing?
Well, number one, shout out to Coach Smith, Coach Chuck, the E-Dub alumni. It's his birthday today, so uh,
Yeah, for sure, for
uh,
sure.
that's one thing. But I think those guys are excited as well. Getting them on the court, seeing them in their element, like to see them do what they do. Um, whether it's individuals or how they interact with the guys or how they go about doing things on campus. It's been really great, man. Like, and every coach is gonna say it. You hire the right people, um, but I think it's really important for what we're trying to build here. And I think those three guys are really important and have done a really good job so far, um, in every aspect of what we're trying to do.
For sure. Coach, I'm gonna throw this elite camp flyer up here. We've been a part of some conversations in our personal lives away from this show about the importance of elite camps, and I don't want to go into my full spiel about it, but I love for you to, from a coach's perspective, kind of break down your thoughts on what you guys are trying to accomplish with elite camp and what it's for and who it's for and all of that, how to participate.
So for us, our elite camp is September 10th. We have two sessions, a morning session and an afternoon session. Um, but for us, it's a more individualized way to evaluate guys we have seen in the April live period when I first got the job and through the summer. Um, while some guys we may kind of know more than others, there may be some things we need to see more of for some guys because maybe they had to play a position in high school when we saw them in June that may not be their position when they get to college. Or maybe they weren't allowed on their AAU team to do some things we think they can do. So we just want to see them in a smaller setting. Like, we're not trying to have 300 kids in the gym. That's not what we're trying to do. Like, you get through for us. I can't tell you what anybody else is doing, but for us, that's not what we're trying to do, is to get 300 kids in the gym. We want to truly evaluate. But, I'll tell any parent, you can go to whatever elite camp you want to. It doesn't mean that coach is going to offer your son.
Very true.
Right? But it may not, but it could mean he doesn't offer him right now, but it could offer him down the road. But every time you don't put your son in a position to begin building that relationship with a program that could possibly recruit him, you're setting them back in a time where high school athletes aren't valued as much in college basketball. We still value them here at Edward Waters, but some other programs may not. So we want to make sure we get a chance to see these high school athletes and see what they can do. And they get a chance to see us. They get a chance to see that beautiful floor behind you, that beautiful gym, our weight room, interact with our coaching staff, our players. I think there's nothing better. And, you know, I'm one to attest that if you've ever been to a Coach Huff elite camp, I mean, I don't know if it's because we invite the right guys, but people do walk away with offers. If there's ever a question about that, it's not a money grab. It's not somewhere where we're not truly evaluating. We're truly looking at who can help us down the road and make us a better program.
Yeah, I'll just touch on it from a parent's perspective. Um, been around a lot of basketball, and the elite camp thing gets a lot of attention because a lot of people handle it and look at it the wrong way. I think for your program, again, I don't think I've ever seen you have an elite camp where somebody didn't get offered, right? And I think it's because you and your staffs have done a great job of building relationships with recruitable players that you do like, right? And like you said, we just want to see them in a closer setting and allow them to see your campus and how you do things and all that stuff. Um, but not everybody operates that way. There are some camps, and I've been to some and seen some where they do want to get 300, 400 kids out there and raise a bit of money. I think from a parent perspective, the only thing I would say is be realistic um, about where your child may be. Um, it may not be a good idea to go to an elite camp of a Power Five program and your child is not a ranked player or a known player. If your kid doesn't have any offers, going to an elite camp for ACC school may not be the best use of your time and your funds, right? Maybe it is, but I would say that there's a chance that it may not be. Um, I would say also to keep academics in mind, apply to the school. If you're going to elite camp, either coming into the camp, have applied to the school, or if you're truly interested, if you like the school, if you took a look around at the facilities and you can see yourself being there, apply to the school um, as you're leaving campus and let the coaching staff know like how serious you are, um, about your hopes to possibly attend. There are so many schools who have free applications
Yep.
that it doesn't cost you anything, but I can tell you that telling a coach that, coach, I've already applied, I've been accepted, I already have my initial financial letter. This is what I'm getting.
Got my
Uh,
NCAA number.
Absolutely. I've added you to my FAFSA. All of those things are free things that you can do, and it impacts your recruitment. Um, I just see far too many kids that are waiting to get a phone call from someone and haven't applied to any school or don't really know, they're judging offers without truly knowing what they want from an institution.
And I'll piggyback. If a coaching member of a staff has reached out to you, that lets you know that they want to see you more. That's not just a blanket email that maybe has been sent to everybody. If you've gotten an email, a personalized email, if you've gotten, a call or like, hey, we would really like to see you there. That to me, that lets you know where you stand with that program, like that you have an opportunity to do something with that program. They want to see more of you, and I think that's a huge thing that I think parents and players really need to see.
Absolutely. If I've got a personal phone call or a personal email, to me, that is my invitation to apply to school. And as they say, know your status. Apply to school. Let those coaches know you applied. I'm accepted. I'm ready to go. So that would be my only advice as a parent.
And as you players, as you we use social media, understand how to reach out to a coach. Like, know yo, bro. Like that's you probably there's more than likely when you're reaching out, like a lot of it's done on Twitter, right? Or whatever you want to call it now, X or whatever we're calling it now, right? But you probably weren't friends with that coach. So you're probably in his friend request, right? And if that's how you started off, I'm being like, there are probably a lot of coaches who just gonna never accept you and never read what you have to say because you didn't. There's a way you have to present yourself, whether you can play or not. They haven't even gotten to whether you can play or not. It's your salutation of how you presented yourself to the coach, right? But this is the time. Like we're getting into September, and I don't care what level. NAI can come see you right now, right? Shout out to my guy James Williams at Voorhees. I know he's watching. Like he's probably seen a lot of kids already right now. I know how we used to work down there, right? But for Division I, Division II, we can't get out till September starts.
Yep.
So ask yourself: has that coach communicated to me coming to elite camp? Are they coming to watch me work out? If they can't, have they said why they haven't? Are they maybe coming to some event where they can come to watch us work out? Sometimes Division I's can't, but Division II's can. Like you got to ask yourself that kind of stuff, and that's even if you have offers. Like, is this offer a committable offer? Because let's be truthful. For every parent and player listening, there is probably at least 2 to 3 guys at your position that they may have offered. Maybe. Now, there may be one that's above, or it could all 3 be in the same boat. Who do they want more? What sets you apart from the other 2 guys? And then start looking stop comparing, in all different ways. Well, Morehouse and Clark offered them, but Edward Waters didn't. Well, let's look at Morehouse and Clark's roster. They may need a PG next year, and maybe we don't. I'm just using an example, right?
For sure.
So stop saying somebody in your continent conference offered my son, but you guys, haven't. And that's not to say we won't, but just give it time. Like for us, and I'm just being honest, we just got this program. Like May 1st was my first day on the job. Assistants came down in June. Like we fielded our team for this year. We began the recruiting process, but now it's the real evaluation of who fits us after now we've been on the court, who really fits us, right? Not just we like how they play, but who really fits us knowing, okay, now we know what we have, where we're going to go next year and 2 years. All those things matter. So that's just me being very transparent and honest, like with people out there. Like, don't get mad that you don't have that offer right now. There are guys on our team from a Division I transfer to JUCO guys to other transfers who maybe we weren't their last or first offer, whatever the case may be. But we were the right place at the right time for the right moment.
100%. 100%. Get those grades, man.
Whew.
Get those grades. I'm telling you, it matters. It helps. Do you really care where your money comes from? As long as you get it, whether it comes from the academic budget or from the athletic budget, those grades, as Huff said, what's the separator? Sometimes that GPA is the great divide. So,
wherever your money comes from the budget, does it determine your minutes?
Absolutely. Huff, we got a panel that you're going to be a part of. This Embrace Us Fall College Coaches Clinic coming up September 30th. It's some really big names up here, some names that people are definitely going to know when I see Penny Collins and Damon Stoudemire. And then look at that picture right there, down there, right beside Coach Stoudemire is our guy, Cabral Huff. Coach, tell us about Embrace Us and tell us about this coaches clinic coming up September 30th.
Man, just blessed and grateful that I was asked to go back home. And when I say go back home, I think I mentioned it on social media the other day. Um, that clinic is taking place at Thurl High School, which is in Southwest Atlanta, in the Ben Hill, Camden Road area, and that's where I grew up. Um, so it hits home to say that I will have the opportunity to go back home, really, not just Atlanta, but like 5 minutes from where I grew up, to be able to live a dream and doing what I love and speak on basketball in my hometown, and to be able to learn from, Hannah Hayden, the new head women's coach at Georgia Southwestern, Cam Daly, a great, talent evaluator, and I don't even want to say workout special. I think that's a bad term. I don't even want to say trainer. Like, he just gets the job done. Like,
all around basketball guy.
Basketball guy, who's done a lot in the basketball game out of Atlanta. To listen to Damon Stoudemire, an NBA point guard who had success, who's had success as Division I head coach, who's had success as an assistant at the NBA level. To be able to listen to him, to be able to listen to Penny Collins. People forget that, the trajectory Penny went on, of being, at Tennessee State first, then going to be a JUCO head coach, having success there, having success at an NAIA program as a head coach, going to the Division I level as an assistant, and then coming back home to Nashville, where he grew up, to take over Tennessee State and having the success he's had there. To be around him and listen to him. I just think it's going to be a great time. There's also a panel of other head coaches, assistant coaches that coaches can learn from. I'm just ready to learn. Yes, I hope to give somebody something they can take with them, but I want to take something back to put in my bag too. And I think it's a great, two great organizations getting together. Obviously me being from Georgia, having been a part of the Georgia Minority Coaches Association, now on the college side being a part of Embrace Us, which was started by Penny Collins in the midst of social unrest, civil unrest in America, in the midst of COVID, where we all got together. Now over 80 of us who are together for a cause to shine the light, not just on basketball, but on how we can promote, empower, enlighten everyone in this business through the game of basketball. I'm just excited, and I hope the community of Atlanta, the basketball community, really comes out, because that's the caboose of it. But when you start with, the GBCA clinic on the 14th, 15th, they have some great speakers there, different speakers. Then the HBCU clinic on the 16th with Travis Williams, and everybody knows what Travis has been able to do with that All-Star game during the Final Four. And then we're the caboose, like on September 30th. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money, but you can get a whole lot of information. And I've been a high school head coach before. And to have that Thursday to Sunday that weekend, and then that Saturday with us before we start practice, if I was a high school head coach or even a middle school coach or even AAU, like, I'm trying to get that knowledge. I'm trying to network as well, because your network is your net worth. And I'm not saying go there and say, hey, I want to try to be a college coach one day, or I want to do this, to try to just pick somebody's brain. How can you get better? Like, what position them to be where they are? Like, I think that's a lot of what can go on at all of these clinics, as well as what they're going to present to you on the floor. We're excited that we're going to have on-floor demonstrations. Dalton State, perennial power NAIA, that program is going to be the demonstrators on the court. My guy, Alex Ireland, who I worked with at Alcorn State, to get his team to be our demonstrators. I'm excited, man. And we're using it as an opportunity. It's not about me, but it's about us at Edward Waters. Coach didn't tell you she's bringing her staff down. Like, my staff is going to be on the court with us. Like, it ain't about me. It's about how we can help somebody else in this game of basketball. So,
No question, without question. It is the place to be, Thorough High School, September the 30th, man. So I'll be locked in. I'll be there enjoying it for sure. Coach, any news notes that we left off before we close?
I think that's it. I mean, obviously, Saturday again, 6 p.m.
Lock in.
Duval versus Flomo, Florida Memorial. Very excited about that. If I'm not mistaken, September 5th, which is next week, first home game for our defending East SIAC champion lady volleyball team. They share that gym with us. So kind of excited about that, to get to see them put on in action. So those are the two kind of events there. And then obviously September 9th, our football team plays again at home. I don't want to get the opponent wrong, because all we do is we go week to week now. Football goes week to week. Can't think about September 9th. Got to think about September 2nd, right? So
no question.
Just excited about those things. Excited for when that time comes when we really can allow Duval and allow the basketball community to see these young men in action. And whether you realize it or not, every day we get closer and closer to that moment. Closer and closer to that moment. And we hope next week we'll be able to drop some news for you.
Huh? Hey man, don't threaten me with a good time, Huff. Know the type of news I like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love to see uniforms and roster talk and schedule talk. Oh man, I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat until next week. We appreciate everybody's time. We appreciate everybody coming out. It is the Edward Waters Tiger Vision. We are Duval. Episode 2 is in the books. Everybody be safe. God bless you all. Good night.